জয় কুঞ্জ বিহারী। জয় রাধা মাধব জয় কুঞ্জ বিহারী। জয় গোপী জনবল্লভ জয় গিরিবর ধারী জয় গিরিবর ধারী। গোপী জন বল্লভ জয় গিরিবর ধারী জয় গিরিবর ধারী। যশোদানন্দন ব্রজ জন রঞ্জন যশোদানন্দন ব্রজ জন রঞ্জন যশোদানন্দন ব্রজ জন রঞ্জন। যমুনা তীর বন চারে রাধা মাধব জয় কুঞ্জ বিহারী। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. बजा रहेगी दूसरा स्टाइल है क्या? हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Krishna
Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha Krishna Chandra, Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe. Jayo Gaurangitai, 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 Jayo Gaurangitai. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtotra Shri Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtotra Shri Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranjarotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 18th chapter, text number 13. Maitreya Uvacha So Adikshipto Bhagavata Pralabdhascha Rushabhrisham Ajahaurolbanam Krodham Kridyamano Hiradhiva Maitreya Uvacha So Adikshipto Bhagavata Pralabdhascha Rushabhrisham Ajaharolbanam Krodham Kridyamano Hiradhiva Maitreya Uvacha So Adikshipto Bhagavata प्रलब्धश्चरुषभ्रशाम् आजाहारोल्बनं क्रोधम् क्रीड्यमानो हि हारदिवा। Word to word meaning. Maitreya, the great sage Maitreya, Uvacha, said, Saha, the demon, Adikshiptaha, having situated, having been insulted, Bhagavata, the personality of Godhead, Pralabdhaha, ridiculed, Cha, and Rusha, angry, Brisham, greatly, Ajahara, collected, Ulbhanam, great, Krodam, anger, Kridhyamanaha, being played with, Ahirat, a great cobra, Iva, like. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Sri Maitreya said, the demon being thus challenged by the personality of Godhead became angry and agitated, and he trembled in anger like a challenged cobra. Please repeat the translation. Sri Maitreya said, the demon being thus challenged by the personality of Godhead became angry and agitated, and he trembled in anger like a challenged cobra. Purport. A cobra is very fierce before ordinary persons, but before an enchanter who can play with him, he is a plaything. Similarly, a demon may be very powerful in his own domain, but before the Lord he is insignificant. The demon Ravana was a fierce figure before the demigods, but when he was before Lord Ramachandra, he trembled and prayed to his deity Lord Shiva, but to no avail. Please repeat the translation. Sri Maitreya said, the demon being thus challenged by the personality of Godhead became angry and agitated, and he trembled in anger like a challenged cobra. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. मैत्रेय उवाच सो अधिक्षिप्तो भगवता प्रलब्धश्चरुषाभृशम् आजारोल्बनं क्रोधं क्रीड्यमानो ऐर्हादिवा. So the Lord after he heard the various chastisement that the Lord did, he became even more angry. Hiranyaksha became more wild with anger. Persons who are too proud, they cannot hear anything which is against what they think. Whether it is good or bad, there is no sense of good or bad for a very arrogant, proud man. For an arrogant, proud man, the only condition that he has is that whatever he thinks, whatever he does, he is perfect, and everybody should accept and follow according to those things. So the mindset of Hiranyaksha was also like that, because he was so puffed up person. Very puffed up person. All Rakshasas, Asuras are like that. They are very puffed up. Their nature is that they think whatever they say, whatever they do, whatever they think is the best, and everybody has to simply adhere to those things. Whether it is Hiranyaksha here, whether it is Hiranyakashipu, whether it is Ravana, whether it is Kamsa, all these demons have the same mentality. There is no discrimination of right, wrong, no. There is only one sense, my ego, my false ego is perfect. All actions that I perform inspired by my false ego is what is perfect. That's a very dangerous phenomenon. Being in that state is very bad. Because in this material world, everything is duality, everything is relative. Just like if you see, animals don't recognize that. If you see electric lines going, it looks very harmless. It looks, nothing is there, just a wire going. But if you touch it, you can die. Still there is a condition. Birds sit on that electric wire. They don't die. Why? Because electric current passes through your body only if there is earthing. It is not touching the earth. So electric current cannot pass through that animal. It is very relative. So, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu or any Rakshasas, their anger, their power, they can show where? Where there is, he could have shown that anger and power in front of the Devatas, in front of other material relative persons. But now, he is showing that anger and arrogance in front of whom? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. If he shows in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that anger, then it is sure that he will die. The other day, some time back, I was seeing one video. In that video, one fellow, mad fellow, he is standing on the train and he is doing all kinds of things on top of the train. And people down are calling him, come down, come down, come down. And above that, his head, there is a 11,000 volt wire that is going. They tell him, come down, come down. He says, I won't come down. And he catches the wire. Within seconds, he is burnt to death. So you see, madness. This is called madness. He thought he is a big hero standing on the train and everybody are seeing him. As soon as he touches the wire, he is burnt to death. He is in ashes. Black, brown, everything burnt. So here we can see Hiranyaksha showed his power, or Hiranyakashipu by just winking his eyes. It is said that by his winking of his eyes, all the devatas would hide in fear, would shiver. But the same Hiranyakashipu in front of Lord Narasimha was nothing. Similarly, here Hiranyaksha in front of Varahadev is nothing. He will be smashed. So sometimes by tiny power, living entities will come under illusion that I can carry on, I can do this, I can do that, nobody can touch me. But we have seen repeatedly all these attempts going on failing. We must realize the material temporality of all things in this material world. Nothing lasts. Srila Prabhupada constantly pointed out this lack of intelligence in this world. Constantly, Srila Prabhupada used to always go to the Western world. The Western world, they are so developed materially. In all types of infrastructure they have. But Prabhupada, being an elevated soul, being a Krishna conscious person, could see through the deficiency of so-called advanced and well-to-do societies. And the single biggest truth that Srila Prabhupada pointed out is about the nature of this material body itself. No matter how advanced you become, how powerful you become, yet you are personally temporary in this material world. Whatever you created, whatever you have achieved will be snatched away from you at one point of time. So why do you have to engage and build so much of activities for a temporary things? Why don't you engage in something that is really a permanent asset, not a temporary asset? Everybody are working to get assets in their life, different types of assets. Somebody is working to get lot of money, to build big houses, to buy big cars, big this, that, this, so many things. Struggling hard. Somebody is working hard to maintain their family, their relationships, their friends, their community. They want all those things because just like you get joy from a big building, from a big house, there is joy that we get. When we get something, we get joy. Similarly, from family, friends, relatives, we get joy. So let's build that circle. And Prabhupada condemned both materially struggling to achieve material. If it comes naturally, fine, that is Krishna ordained. But if you are personally, constantly struggling on your own to achieve these things, then it is Shrama Yevai Kevalam. Endeavor for meaningless substance. Prabhupada used to say, be simple. We think, oh, I want the most beautiful lady as my wife, as this one. She should be like this. She should be this educated. She should be looking like this. What is the use? Even if you get one like that, very soon, all that beauty and ability, everything will be lost. When you become because material world is achievements of the material world, assets of the material world are driven by falsity. It is not real, or in other sense it is temporary. So intelligent man does not pursue temporary things. Adyantavantaha nateshu ramate buddha. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Any pleasure which has a beginning and an end, and an intelligent person does not pursue any pleasure which has a beginning and an end. So all material pleasure has a beginning and an end. So an intelligent person will not pursue that. Only a foolish person will pursue such kind of pleasures. You create assets for Krishna. You create relationships, you create genuine Krishna conscious relationships which are based on Krishna conscious principles. In the family, what we think, in the material world, relationships are for material well-being. From a for a devotee, Krishna conscious person, our relationship is we want to be in the community of devotees. Why? Because one devotee will inspire another devotee to practice Krishna consciousness. We are living in a samuha of devotees. Like in the temple, we are coming together. Why we are coming together? Because I see him, he sees me. We both benefit each other in a Krishna consciousness. Material consciousness is what? Oh, I will be with him. She will provide for my enjoyment. I will provide for, he will provide for her enjoyment. It is their individual, independent enjoyments which is making that relationship work. So, individual enjoyment bereft of Krishna will only bind you to this material world. It will not liberate it. Whereas pleasure meant for Krishna, activities meant for Krishna will be liberating thing. So we must be very careful what we put our hand into. Anything that doesn't have Krishna is meaningless. Doesn't make any sense. It's madness. Just like I gave you the example of the madman touching the wire. Why did he have to do it? Because he is mad. Hiranyaksha is mad. Mad, drunk on ego. Ego makes you mad. Kama krodha yesha rajo guna samudvaha mahashano mahapapma viddhiyenamiya vairinam. Material, lust, greed, anger, all these are very, very great enemies. Viddhiyenamiya vairinam. They are our great enemies. Our senses, our intelligence gets completely corrupted and lost when we succumb to the forces of lust, greed and anger. We are not able to discriminate at all, completely lost. So we must be very, very careful. Very careful. So here Maitreya is saying, the demon being thus challenged by the personality of Godhead became angry and agitated, and it trembled in anger like a challenged cobra. At least you should have recognized the Supreme Lord is there in front of me. Let me not behave in such a manner. No, instead he became even more arrogant. It's like Chanakya Pandit says, Murko Upadesha, you should not give advices to a foolish person. If you give advice to a foolish person, he will become more harmful. This we see it repeatedly in our surroundings. We know sometimes we tell that devotee, we see a devotee, which way he is going, where he will land up. Yet we will not tell that devotee, don't do it. Why? Why we cannot? It's not that we don't want to tell, because it is advising a fool. If you advise a fool, he will become more miserable. So let him fall in the well. So sometimes devotees, Prabhu, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you advise me? I wanted to. But sometimes what to do? We advise, you will become more worst. So we had no other choice but to keep quiet. Repeatedly it's saying. Sometimes I have seen repeat, I want to advise, but then I think, oh, if I try to advise, it will become more worse. We keep quiet. We know where this is going to end up. But yet we need, the Lord is also like that. The Lord is repeatedly seeing every living entity and He is telling and He is guiding also. Then what to do? The living entity doesn't want to listen. And then he suffers and he cries. Oh, what has happened to me? Then he finishes his suffering and a new beginning is made. But living entity constantly, until and unless is not completely fixed, the cycle of making mistakes never ends. So until and unless we are completely fixed in Krishna consciousness, this saga of pain and misery, which is the consequences of our own actions, pain and misery, happiness in this material world or sadness in this material world, are all different consequences of our own actions. If we want to go beyond this so-called material happiness and sadness, material happiness and material sadness, then we have to take up Krishna consciousness very, very diligently, very determined way. We must come to that platform of practicing Krishna consciousness. My actions will only be driven as a service to Krishna, not as a service, you cannot call that service, not as an action that is influenced by my false ego and senses, body, mind. Any action that is influenced by body, mind, senses, ego will ultimately end up in prolonged material existence. Strictly following Srila Prabhupada's instructions, understanding what is action in Krishna consciousness, we must pursue that seriously. How we can conduct our actions for Krishna, how we can surrender all our actions for Krishna, how we can dovetail all our actions for Krishna. That should be the mood. So to do that, our consciousness should be in a proper frame of, should be in a proper platform. Just like you want to board an aeroplane. If you want to board an aeroplane, where should you go? You should go to the airport. Aeroplane flies sometimes over our head also. Can you board the aeroplane? To board the aeroplane, you have to go to the airport. You have to have a ticket to go to the airport. You have to go at the right time to the airport. If you satisfy all these conditions, you will be able to board an airplane. Similarly, if you want to be Krishna conscious, if you want to perform actions, then you should have that right qualifications to perform Krishna conscious activities, actions. So build, just like we want to go somewhere. We are, oh, time ho gaya, we will pack our bags, we will do everything. We will reach the aeroplane, we will reach the station or bus or train because we want to be at that right time and they're there, and then we go like that. Similarly, if we have a desire to be Krishna conscious, but if we don't follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, we will not be able to take up Krishna consciousness. The desire is there. You have to fulfill all the prerequisites for performing actions in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it's not possible. Step by step, constantly our mind should be thinking, how I can do, how I can do, how I can do. How I can engage in Krishna consciousness. See, it is not, Krishna consciousness is not giving up actions. I have to engage. Engage in Krishna consciousness, not engage in material activity. There is no neutral phase. Non-engagement is Maya. Again it becomes material. We have to work, we have to collect money, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to work same way like how somebody, but one is for Krishna and another is for my own mind, body, senses. That work is never to be given up. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jyayo isi akarmanaha. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Krishna is saying, on an ongoing basis, you have to work. An ongoing versus you work like that, like that, like that, and it becomes akarmanaha. You reach the platform of karma. Work cannot be given up capriciously. Prabhupada uses this word. Capriciously. You have to work. All of us have to engage in different kind of living entity. Is the soul is always full of engagement. Now we are using this soul for the purpose of the body. That is the source of our misery. Use the soul, the power of the soul for the service of the super soul. Use our senses, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. Use all our senses for serving the Lord of the senses. This is the path of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we will lose all intelligence, driven by false ego. There is no intelligence at all. You will become completely lost. We will stop here if there is any question, comments. Antarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Prabhupada ki.